Hello everybody, welcome to this, I was going to say live stream, but this is the first time I've been on DosBox for a while. I just thought I'd give you a few little ways around DosBox and how you can use it, and give you a little tutorial on how simple it can be. It can be complex if you don't understand DOS or have not used DOS, but personally I would say this emulator is more for people that remember it, like myself back in the day as a kid, or people that haven't used DOS for a while and you just want to use it on your new computer, that sort of thing. And if you get value from this video, please like and subscribe, and I will give you as much value as I can. So this is DosBox as it is itself. Feel free to zoom in, just because on the OBS program I use, it zoomed in the middle, and so you might want to zoom in, which is more than fine. If not, you've got my face in the corner. But let's crack on. So to start with DosBox, download the latest one. Just type in DosBox on Google or any search engine, and go on the official website. It's fairly it's usually the first one or two, you'll see it. Download the latest version. I've got version 0.74, and there might be a newer version when you watch this, but it's roughly about that sort of time. And it literally takes 2 seconds to download, 2 seconds to install. There's really much to it. It's a very tiny little emulator, tiny little program, and it basically emulates DOS, which is a great way to, for those of you that don't already know, it's a great way to use old programs or play really old games that require DOS. And this is how I would get around it. So if you've never been on it before, just double click on it, it will load up. If you type Control Enter, it will zoom into the whole screen, or Control Enter to go back to Windows. That's my first little tip. I'll just sort of show you so you can see me. I don't know if it will do it. There it is. There I am. There's my OBS. Nothing exciting. And then you put it back in, and we go back to DosBox. I keep talking that because I call this website DosBite, and I've got so used to saying that. Now you all start with a Z. Doesn't really mean anything. I would mount a drive or a directory within your computer for it to start. So basically it needs somewhere to start. My best recommendation, under your C, in your C drive, I would make a folder called games, or your name, or something really simple, and then, because you don't want to accidentally delete stuff on your computer, because then you'll be like, delete stuff. So it's like a safe way to mess around with stuff, load old games, but at the same time you're not messing around, you're not gonna break your computer. So this is how I would start. So you can type in help, and it will give you a list of commands, which is quite handy. dir, you'll see me use that. Dir basically just shows the files that you've got inside that folder. CD display, don't worry about the other ones at this moment in time, but that just gives you a list of basic commands. And if you type in intro, I believe it is, or is it info? No, yeah, it's intro, and this again will just give you some very simple basic information about it. I'll let you read that in your own time. And this just tells you what the different things mean. Like, for those of you that don't know, when you're looking at files in old games, for example, or even modern games, if you have a .exe or a .bat or a .com, it's usually .bat or .exec, they're usually like the files that start the game and that sort of thing. Sorry if you already know that, but that's just an easy sort of, and this just gives you a list of commands to get you started. So just take you through them. If you're using a CD, for example, those CDs are becoming like floppy disks now, these just give you a list of commands. I won't go through them today, but these basically give you a list of commands for you to start. And just bear in mind, you're typing mount, the D is basically whatever the letter of your CD is. So say, for example, on a lot of modern computers, like mine, it'll be E or F. So D is just basically like the example, because D is what it used to be on an old computer. So I recommend you just have a brief look, see what if you have a CD drive, or if you have an external CD drive, just see what letter Windows has allocated it. Just say, for example, it's E or F. You would put mount F D : / -T CD-ROM, or you would, one I sometimes use is the third one down, the mount. Let's just use D for example. Mount D to D : / -T CD-ROM. Little line, I can never remember what it's called, use CD, and I use that for games. I don't know if you can still see my face. I use that for games like this, FIFA 97, one of my first FIFA games that I very occasionally go back to. So I use this sort of program and that command, so it basically uses that, and it basically means that DosBox even, sorry, see, I've told you, done it again, will use the CD to load the game, because a certain age of games prefer that. It just say here, actually, if you're using Windows 2000 or XP, it prefers these other commands, but I've not really bothered because I tend to find those games work there anyway. So this just gives you another list of commands. As I said before, Alt Enter, full screen and back again, pause. Actually, a useful thing to know if you're playing really old games, I think it is, don't call me to this, but I believe it's Control F11 and Control F12, and that basically slows down or speeds up the emulator. So say if you're playing a really old game that requires a really old chip, something like a 386 or a 286, the emulator might need to slow right down to work. So I find when I'm playing FIFA 97, which is, you know, not the oldest game out of old games, but I actually found by accident that by slowing down the emulator, the game actually worked far better. So that's something to bear in mind if you're playing certain games. But certain games don't care and they just work anyway. But I have found certain games were obviously made for a very specific time of age of computer and a very specific age of chip. So you may need to slow down the emulator, and that's something you just have to tweak and play around with. Just tap F11, sorry, Control F11 a few times and until it works. If it goes too slow, you just go the opposite, speed it up slightly. So we're going to start with mount C to C:\games, because I've made a folder inside my C drive as games, and here it is, games. And there it is, DosBox. There we go. Say it right, Dave. Come on. If you're getting value from this video, please like and subscribe at the time of this video to bring you absolute value as we lead up to this time of year. So this is now mounted a 10C drive, and basically it's seen C as that folder of games. And let's see what's inside it. So I'm going to type in dir, enter, and that has actually gave me my actual boot. Oh no, sorry, do it again. So I've got to go to C:, now we're in the 10C, dir, get it right, Dave, C, live TV or recorded TV. I would just do, I'll be honest, I would do all this automatically without thinking, but the pressure of you guys watching to get it right. And inside here, I've literally got a random DOSBox folder. I don't even know what's in that. Hello, I think they're like little Word docs just to put. I think I just put them in there ages ago just to show you some files. And WordStar, for those of you that don't know, WordStar is a really old word processing program that I've talked about in a video I made ages ago on the channel, and I'll perhaps talk about that again in a different video. So you get the idea. So once you've got your game, I would recommend, personally for ease, just to make this really easy for you, I would either download the game or copy the game from your floppy disk or whatever. I would put it straight into your games folder. So when you come to this point, you can literally just go, for example, CD / WordStar. We'll just use that as an example. And then you'll go dir, have a little search, and you'll find the exec, which is there, WS, and you just type that in, the game will load up and off you go. Obviously, you know, if the game's called Duke, it will load up. If it's called Golf, you know, whatever the game is, just find the file that says exe, which is usually the program that will start, and it will usually be a shortcut of the name and usually your game. So let's just use Golf, for example, and it will load. Some old games you might need to just type in setup first and just set up the sound of the game, and that would basically work for you. So you go back. If you've got a lot of files, a little thing I'd recommend, you probably won't need to do on here, is dir /p, and that will just do page by page. But as you can tell, I've only got 3 documents there. So if you're getting value from this video, if it's helpful in any way, please like and subscribe. And more importantly, actually, definitely feel free to buy us a coffee, which supports everything we do here on the channel. We'll link to that in the description. But more importantly than any of that, if you have any questions, I've obviously gone to the very basics just to show you how simple this emulator can be. But if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. I come on the channel for time. My main channel is actually TVR Creators, where I talk about cameras. If that's interesting to you, go and check it out. Just type in TVR Creators and you'll see me talking about cameras and flooding around the place. But from time to time, I like to come back here because my probably one of my biggest passions is retro computers, and I do have a few ideas of videos for the channel. So if that sounds interesting, please stick around. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'm Dave from DosBox. Please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to ask your questions, and hopefully see you in a new video. And just before we go, I'm going to leave you 2 end cards that are going to bring you even more value. So see you in the next video.